This lighting is terrible. Better.
Let's read with Lexi!
Hello everyone. I'm back so soon, right? I know. I just filmed the last one last night and got it uploaded this morning, and I'm already filming the next one. Oh my god! 6 weeks later. Chapter 1, The Dark Horse. Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Oh, and I like this a lot. Each chapter, I always love it when books do this. Each chapter has a little quote at the beginning, so I'll read you the one for chapter 1. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. William Ernest Henley, Invictus. So there's a little food for thought. Things are not going so well for Tessie. Or Tessa, excuse me. Only her brother gets to call her Tessie. Excuse me. Things are not going so well for Tessa. The Dark Sisters were not people to be trusted. They kind of kidnapped her, and she's in a room, and like every day she has to go down to this little room. This lady Miranda comes up to her room, and like the Dark Sisters will see you now, and she's like really creepy, and she's got buggy eyes just like the coachman from the last chapter. And then they go down there and they hand her this ribbon, and they're like, now change, take this and change. And at first it sounds like a religious cult thing, but they don't mean like change your ways. They mean literally change your physical shape. And for the first couple weeks she was like, what? You guys are crazy. Kinda crazy. So they like, beat her. Because that's how you deal with people who don't know what you're talking about. You hit them. Take this and change. And she takes the ribbon and she like does this thing that that the Dark Sisters taught her. To how to change. And she turns into this girl who's like a lot smaller and like really skinny and has blonde fair hair, like another little girl we've heard about. And her name is Emma Baylis. And one of the creepy ladies is like, and who are you, Emma Baylis? And she talks about where she was born, how she'd been one of 6 children, her father was dead, mama sold peppermint water, and they're poor. Is that what you were doing the night that you were out on the street, the night that you died? And suddenly she remembers that she's in like a narrow alley, and she needle and thread falling from her hand because someone like grabbed her, and then a silver blade flashes in the night and stabs her repeatedly. Then she like kicked at the guy, knocked the dagger from his hand and caught it, and then she like ran away really fast. And she could hear something like hissing following her. She says that she was hoping to die before it reached her, which kind of suggests that she knew what was following her, which I'm guessing is a Shaxx demon, such as the one that Will killed in the last chapter, in the prologue. And then suddenly it shatters and she falls and Tessa falls and turns back into herself. And they're like, where's Emma? And she's like, she's dead. And they're like, oh, okay, good. Whew, we were worried about that for a second. Whew, we're good, we're in the clear. And she looks down, she's like covered with blood, but there's no pain. And they're like, oh yes, they start talking to each other about her like she's not even there. And they're like, oh yes, we've formed her quite nicely. She's like clay, she's like unmolded clay, and we've formed her so well. I can't see how the Magister would fail to be pleased. And no one's like, do you think it's time? Oh, absolutely, my dear sister. And it's time our little Teresa met her master. That's so creepy. When should she meet him? Perhaps tomorrow or even tonight, blah, 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 blah. If we told the Magister she was ready, I cannot imagine he would delay to get here. Don't you agree? She must be presentable. She must be presentable, don't you think? She must be pretty. And they're like, go on and put her in those clothes, the things that we showed you. And she's like, the things you showed me? And they're like, you're so dumb, go take her upstairs and put her in those nice clothes. make her look pretty. The two ladies left, and Miranda is like, come on, we gotta go upstairs now. Tessa, like, stood up, and she's like, this place is really creepy, it's really horrible here, and I don't know, I don't know what to change. I almost don't want to leave, because if here, I know it's gonna happen every single day. I can handle this, I'm used to it now. But if I go with this Magister guy, I don't know what's gonna happen. He might kill me. He could, I don't even know. Like, she's just, like, freaking out. And she's like, Miranda, who is the Magister? And Miranda's like, he's a good man. He's a great man. He's a great man. It'll be an honor for when you're married to him. And she's like, married? Oh my god, what? What? Ah! Like, that just, like, throws her for a loop, and she's like, I don't understand why. Why is this happening? Wait, who is this guy? And she's like, he's a very great man. It'll be good. It'll be an honor. Yeah, come on, let's go. Gotta go now. She's like, no. And Miranda, like, walks forward to try to get her, and she's like, please, Miranda. And she's like, come on, we have to go now. You must come with me now. And all of a sudden, Tessa grabs the base of a brass globe on the desk and swung it with all her might at Miranda's head. It connected with a sickening sound. Miranda reeled back and then straightened. Tessa shrieked and dropped the globe, staring. The whole left side of Miranda's face had been was crushed in. It had been smashed flat on one side. Her cheekbone was flattened, her lip mashed against her teeth, but there was no blood. No blood, just flat. So she's not, human. I'm thinking that she's some sort of golem, maybe made out of paper or something. I can't imagine paper, because she's pretty strong. She's dragged Tessa to her lessons when she doesn't want to go. But, something like that. And Tessa's, like, freaking out, and she's still like, you must come with me now. And then all of a sudden, she starts acting like a robot, and she's like, you must come, you must. And powers down. Tessa starts running away, and she runs out. She's running down the stairs, and she's running, and there's this guy, and she's like, please, sir, if you could help me. And he turned and looked at her, and she is, like, stifled a scream, and his face was white and waxy, and it turns out that was the coachman from the prologue, and he worked for the Dark Sisters, and she turned around, but it was already too late. And that, my good friends, is the end of chapter 1, The Dark House. Next time is chapter 2, Hell is Cold. That's the name of the second chapter. No new characters really, well, I guess one new character, Miranda. Miranda was introduced in this chapter. But other than that, no new characters. It's just them in that house. And the Magister. Oh, I forgot, he is technically a new character. We haven't actually met him yet, but I suppose I should talk about him since he was mentioned. I'm guessing that he's probably a warlock of some kind. And I don't know why he wants to marry this, like, 16, 17-year-old girl. Like, I called her a little girl in the last episode. That was my bad. She's a teenager. But yeah, it's really creepy and pedophilish. And no, that's not okay. She has a right to be freaked out. I know this takes place in the 1800s and all. But come on. The way they talk about him, he sounds like he's at least in his 30s, if not 40s. It's weird. Plot development, she has this power that she didn't know she had, where she can, transform into people, by simply holding something of theirs. And the Dark Sisters are evil. They still wear bright clothing, but they're evil. And horrible people. I'm going to wrap up this episode of Let's Read Clockwork Angel, The Infernal Devices, Book 1 by Cassandra Clare. Goodbye.